mate? Ricky, Bruce McAvaney, mate.
How are you, Bruce?
Really well. We're seeing a great game here, mate.
Yeah, I believe it's
been absolutely outstanding.
Yeah, well, it was pretty lacklustre here at the Optus Oval, I can tell you.
Who won it, mate?
Footscray.
Footscray won, did they?
Yeah.
That's going to make it half of the D's.
Yeah, well, 4-0, but, in each of the games they've had a chance to win, so it's very hard to make it if you can't win 2 of the first 5.
Ricky Nixon, no? I'll be with you shortly, Rick.
Okay.
We're just going to do some quarters. Don't give away, Optus, because we're going after you to Terry Wheeler. A pulsating first half at Football Park. 4 goals in the first 7 minutes, 6 goals only in the first half, but it lacked for nothing. West Coast lead by 2 points over the Adelaide Crows. 3 goals, 8-2, 3 goals, 6. One of the big stories during the week was the launch of Club 10, 10 of the highest profile players in the game, managed by Ricky Nixon, the former footballer. Before we introduce Ricky, on 7 Nightly News during the week, on the day of the announcement, our newsreader Jennifer Kite asked Tim Watson what it was all about.
And Jen, that's all in sport today.
Now, how do you feel about this top 10 marketing idea?
I don't know, I'm a little bit confused. I'm not sure how it's all going to work. I know the AFL have got their own 10 that they're going to set out, headed by Craig Kelly. I'm not really sure where it's all going to end.
Time will tell, I think.
It's very confusing, this one.
All right, thanks, Tim.
Well, we're not having a go at Tim because Ricky Nixon, I too am a little confused because I know that, and welcome, by the way, to the program, the new football entrepreneur. How are you going, Ricky?
Good, thanks, Bruce.
We are a little confused because the AFL does own the rights to the players' images, but they don't own the rights for commercial merchandising. What does it all mean in a brief sentence or two?
Well, I think it somewhat over the last 3 or 4 months there has been a lot of confusion come into it, but all it is that the players have created their own logo, whereby when you see that logo on products, it now means that the players approve of that product, and I guess it's also a recognition of excellence because it's the elite players who are approving of that product.
I've got a little football here, Ricky. We're a quarterback club in the United States. This one's signed by Steve Young, the quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers, and there's the quarterback logo. Is that the type of merchandising we're talking about?
Well, I guess, yes, that's a good example. I mean, at the moment, the sort of products in the marketplace, you see AFL-approved products, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the players approve of it, and it doesn't have to be the top players, it could be all the players, but I think it's about time the consumer or the supporters can buy products or get services that they know the players are behind, receiving benefits from and approve of.
Tell us the responsibilities your 10 players have to the league and also to the club. I'll give you 2 examples. If the league wanted them to be involved in the AFL Sensation in Grand Final week, or if they wanted them to do a commercial, for example, if they wanted Gary Ablett to say, I'd like to see that, where do they stand in those 2 areas?
Well, I certainly believe that the AFL, or rather the players, have got no obligation to the AFL in that case, except that they have made a commitment to help advertise and promote the game of football, but unfortunately that hasn't been clarified to what extent, and certainly I believe that throughout the contract and the registration paper it doesn't state anywhere that the AFL's got the right to commercially exploit the players.
You've picked 10 very good players. Congratulations. I mean, some wonderful names there. 2 centres that you're not involved in at the moment are Brisbane, and in particular I think Adelaide, which is such a big football town, Ricky. Now, Lynch came to mind maybe in Brisbane, maybe Wren and Adelaide, or also Modra. Are they 2 areas that you are looking at?
Well, we certainly are, and people like Alistair Lynch and Modra, we had spoken with Modra and Greg Newman, his manager, and I have spoken to Sean Wren as well before he was injured last week. The key has been really that 10, it's not going to be confined to 10, it can be 15, 20, there's no limit on numbers, but basically for the first year we thought that 10 should be the limit because obviously we're already into the season and it's very difficult to get certain products or services in position. But as players come through the ranks, and I think Tony Modra is a good example at the moment, very exciting player, but he's been injured, and I guess some people would question whether he's quite in the same marketing area or perhaps ability-wise as an Ablett or a Carey or a Dunstall, and he's got plenty of time to prove that and come into that elite group, and I think people like Alistair Lynch obviously serves a purpose in the Brisbane market, and we're looking closely at that.
Gavin Brown and Gary Lyons' situation, both employed by the AFL. Is there a conflict of interest here?
Well, I don't think so, because Gary and Gavin are both employed, I believe, by the National Football Council or League to conduct clinics and promotions to promote the game of football. And for the past 4 years, I've actively promoted and marketed the players. And as we speak now, the AFL haven't got anything in place. And I know that they're perhaps looking to do something, but they certainly haven't over the past 3 or 4 years. And And I believe that really just Gavin and Gary were remaining loyal to the people who have been loyal to them for 4 years.
Ricky, you must have done your sums. How much money do you think you can generate with these 10 players over a 12-month period?
Well, it's not a question of how much they generate, Bruce. It's a question of how much they get back for the commercial exploitation of their images or the services that they provide. And certainly it's very lucrative overseas, but you've only got to look at someone like Michael Jordan or some of the better footballers in the States, and they're rewarded, or they're not rewarded, but they're compensated when their images are used and they approve of certain products. And I don't think that we should be any different in Australia.
Well, just give us a rough figure. What do you think Gary Ablett should earn out of merchandising the game and out of playing the game? What sort of a ballpark figure in a year?
I would have thought that a player probably has to earn in excess of $20,000, and obviously there's probably no limit on it. But it's very hard.
Should he be on $500,000? Should he be able to get $500,000 out of football in a season?
Well, I think the key here too as well, Bruce, is that the player payments are escalating at a very rapid rate, and the clubs are under pressure. Supporters aren't probably liking what they see at the moment, and I feel that really I've got an obligation to try and compensate them as much off the field as I can, because in a lot of circumstances, particularly Melbourne-based clubs, can't afford to keep certain players now, and if I can compensate them with certain monies off the ground because they can't hold down full-time jobs, then it contributes to them staying at the clubs they're at.
Ricky, thanks for your time today. It's been an interesting discussion, and good luck with the future.
Thanks, Bruce.
Good on you, Ricky Nixon. We'll take a break from Football Park and back with more after this.